Hey, what's going on out there, family? Welcome back to another episode of You Are My Brother. Love all day on this channel is where we provide love, even though we have conversations around heavy topics, light topics. Earlier today, I did a video talking about the importance of love and positivity. I also did a video about crime. So just know that if you're tuning into this channel, we do talk about a lot of different things, but things that are meant to uplift our community and strive to push us forward in the right direction. So I thought I'd do this video to talk about what we're about to close out for this month, which is actually Black History Month, and the importance of celebrating it no matter how you choose to go about doing it. And I thought to myself, I said, well, I'm here in the United States. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but if you're watching from here in the United States or you watch it throughout the world, I hope you had a chance to make the most of your Black History Month. So before I get into that content, I want to say thank you to people who might listen to this channel. If you want to tune in, you want to support, your support is definitely much appreciated in the form of subscribing to the channel, pushing the bell notification, or just liking the video, because it's really meant to drive the community, help the community grow. So any support or any appreciation you guys can lend to that, I definitely will appreciate it, and we all will, because your feedback is needed. So I want to talk to you guys about making the most out of your Black History Month. I mean, we're coming up here on the last day of February, and if you're new to the channel, or maybe you don't know, this is celebrated as Black History Month here in America. Now, myself, I choose to celebrate Black History Month all throughout the year, but there's ways that I want to talk about celebrating it, because it might just be different to different people. There might be people outside of our race that want to show appreciation for it, and that's fine. So we're going to be able to talk about that today. But the main talking point for me, and I have to always, be real with myself here, is that I haven't always celebrated Black History Month. Growing up in schools in America, depending on what school you go to, they may allude to Black History Month. They may speak to it. Rarely have I been in a situation. I've been in all types of schools, from Catholic schools to public schools, that really don't spend every day of a month talking about Black History Month, especially if you're in a school that's integrated. I don't know that they cover it so much, but I'm gonna give this a shot from my perspective. So keep in mind, I am somebody who's lived a fairly good life here in America, and what I mean by good is that I'm in my late 30s and I'm still alive. So that's one thing to be celebrated all within itself here in America. So what I want to talk to you guys about is definitely how Black History Month just definitely doesn't get enough celebration within the American school system. So that's just what we understand it to be. But we can also celebrate the month, or our successes, or Black History Month. If you just want to celebrate Black history, forget a month, celebrate Black history every day, all day. From my perspective, we don't celebrate it enough in this particular country. But what we can do is we don't have to wait for other people to recognize it. I think we do a great job of celebrating Black history every single day. There's some people who choose to pay attention to the month, but I think it's very important that we talk about ways that we can support. So what I want to talk about there is, for instance, what I chose to do this particular month, and like I just previously alluded to, there are times throughout my life where I've celebrated it, and there are times throughout my life where I haven't celebrated it. But prior to launching this community, I said to myself, well, hey, if I'm going to be speaking about these topics, I need to put an action plan into place so people can know that I'm not just somebody who's just talking, right? And I tend to look at things on a small microscopic level, peel back that onion, as they would say in some, corporate cultures in America. But I want to look at things from a micro level, and then maybe we can progress to a macro level. So for me, what I chose to do this year was I wanted to celebrate Black history by supporting Black-owned businesses, and the support that I just tried to, every 2 days I possibly could, support a Black-owned business. And depending on where you live, it might be hard to find black owned businesses. You might have to look online. You might not be able to step outside and just support black owned businesses. So that's what I chose to do, is just support black owned businesses from the standpoint of, it could be restaurants, it could be clothing stores, it can be buying books, it can be shopping at an African American grocery store, it could be purchasing a bottle of wine from an African American owned business, or African owned business, if we should say. We shouldn't just focus on African American Black History Month, but celebrate Black History Month or Black history itself with our brothers all throughout the world. We don't have to limit ourselves in America. I know we want to talk about it because that's the month we live in, but I don't know about our brothers overseas, but they should feel free to chime into this too. People that resonate with what we've been saying on this channel, I want them to have a voice in this, even though it might be catered to the African American or the African experience. But there are people throughout outside of our culture that resonate with certain movements in our culture, or are tied to our culture due to somebody that they may call a significant other or a family member, whatever have you. But what I chose to do was, I wanted to support black owned businesses any way I possibly could. And then I said, you know what? I'm not a person that is just going to sit up there, and I don't have the access to do it just yet, but hopefully one day we will, is to be able to look outside and only support black owned businesses. I know that there are many communities within America to where you might live in a community where everything around you is black, black owned, and that's powerful all within itself. But some of us don't have access to do that. But what we can do with the internet, or being online and having access to things, is maybe you can support a black owned business in your own way. And that's fine. We're not here to say one support is better than another support. My point being is that I chose to do something small that I possibly could. I tend to shop for whatever's around me, but I made a conscious decision to say, okay, instead of going to Kroger, I'm gonna try a black owned grocery store. If I wanted to go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, I supplement that with a black owned grocery store. If I wanted food, I can have a plethora of black owned restaurants to support. So that was one way I chose to do it. But also, what I chose to do too is support movements. Think about it like BLM, or your favorite YouTuber who pushes these agendas, or your favorite person, and donate to their cause. It could be your favorite charity, if you will, that's a black owned charity. What I chose to do was, I chose to donate $50 to my first ever donation to a black cause directly. I've served black communities throughout my whole life, but now that I'm finding myself wanting to reconnect with the community, and that's what it's all about here, and that's what we do on this channel and what we do within this community, I took a look at what I can do to not make so much a drastic change, but every small change I believe helps. So that's what I chose to do, was support black owned businesses. And what I did was, like I mentioned before, was supporting our restaurants, supporting our grocery stores, but also donating $50 to one of your favorite charities, or $50 to your favorite YouTuber. So I chose that route. But also, I've also made a very, very conscious decision, and this might strike people differently, because some people may say to themselves, what? You should just be doing that anyway, but I chose to cognitively, everybody that I saw that was African, or of African American descent, or just African diaspora, if you will, I just chose to look them in the face. Normally, when I walk around the city I live in, I tend to have my headphones on, but this month in particular, I was just, saying hello to everybody. Hey brother, hey sister, how are you? Hey child, hey children, hey young brother, things like that I chose to do cognitively. And there were some people that said, yeah, thanks man, thanks, I'm doing good, how about yourself? And just having that interaction. And of course there were some people who kind of looked at me like, what the hell is this guy doing? But I just chose to do that. And it's fine to start somewhere, and I think everybody has to have a start somewhere. And that's the reason why I choose to look at things on a micro level. I think sometimes when you look at things from a big grandioso perspective, sometimes those things are hard to execute. You need finances or you need time. But what I'm talking about right here, I think that you can just easily make these adjustments to show people that they are appreciated. So that's the way I chose to give back, for Black History Month. And as we transition to, Hispanic Heritage Month, if you will, I want to be able to carry that support even further. So what I'm doing is I'm taking all the love and support that I executed for within my own race and applying it to other groups that look like me, identify with me, that may speak different languages, that are part of the African diaspora or a part of the what they call U.S. minority struggle. And I'm going to choose to support my Hispanic brothers because I think we all definitely do that at some point. If you're Black, African, Asian American, whatever, I think all of us go to Mexican restaurants or we support Mexican owned businesses in some form of fashion. Everything doesn't have to be so grand scale. Think about supporting, let's say for instance, you do your landscaping for your house. Maybe you want to support a Latin owned business or a Hispanic owned business for when it comes to your landscaping. Instead of doing painting yourself and maybe you don't have time, maybe you can choose a contractor that is of Hispanic or Spanish descent. It could be supporting restaurants. It could be helping, throughout your local community. Think about home improvement projects. So the things and supporting the Black owned or Hispanic owned, it could be anything, but Hispanic owned banks, there are many of those. Open up account, $25, things like that. We can do things like that, and everything doesn't have to be so grand scale. It's the little things that we do every day that strive us to be better. And I believe that that is something that we can do. So I never want to be the person that preaches. I just want to be able to execute on the little things that I do, but also hear your stories about how you're executing your plan, whether it was for, Black History Month or whether you're looking forward to Hispanic Heritage Month, things like that. No matter where you live and what things you're going to do to support those particular communities, I definitely want to hear you guys' feedback, because at the end of the day, that's what we do on this channel. We are a channel about love. We are a channel about being prosperous, but we are also a channel that's about sharing and caring. So tell me your stories and how you plan to execute of loving people a little bit more. And I know that may sound like we're talking about specific months here, but we're really talking about years. We're talking about things that really plague our communities and things that we can do every single day. So don't look at Black History as Black History Month. Every day is Black History. Don't look at things as Hispanic Heritage Month. Everything is about the love that you have for Hispanic or Latino people. So let's just put that in mind and say, hey, we can do some small things this month to make things better and make things easier for some of our people, but let's do that all year long. And I think for the most part, we already do that. Yes, we might hear negative feedback and naysayers talking about we don't do this or we don't do that. But at the end of the day, we know that we're both communities that need each other no matter where we are in the world. Whether you're all the way Mexico, all the way down to Argentina, or you're over here in the U.S., all the way over to Africa, all my Asian family that's over in Asia and India. We all need to support each other. We can continue doing that. So don't pay attention to the days, the months, the years. Let's just do things that we can do, small changes to make us all a little bit more comfortable with the situation that we're currently in, or just make us get into a position where we're more comfortable building the future that we want to see. So that's just my 2 cents there. I would love to know you guys' feedback, but this just want to give you guys a quick video, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. What I normally do is I do about maybe 2 of these videos per day, and then we're going to start doing Sunday live shows just to, talk to the community, engage within the community for a very long time. So I want to say thank you guys for listening to this quick video, but also feel free to hit the like button, feel free to hit the share button. It helps YouTube, the YouTube algorithm, find our brothers and our sisters all throughout the world. So I want to say thank you guys so much. Until the next time.